Hi, I am retired professional triathlete TJ Tollakson, CEO of Dimond Bikes, and today we are talking about fueling for an Ironman. Ironman season is upon us, so without further ado, let's get into how to fuel for an Ironman. First, some nutrition basics. There are 4 calories in every gram of carbohydrate and protein, and 9 calories in every gram of fat. So just keep that in mind as we move forward.
Pay attention. There's going to be a test afterward.
So to start out an Ironman day, I've got a cheat sheet I'm going to grab and show you, but it starts out, and this is a little rough, but I believe your race will be better if you do it this way. 3.5 hours before the start of the race, wake up and eat breakfast. 3.5 hours before the race, wake up and eat breakfast. Also, no caffeine at that time. Yeah, no caffeine at that time. But why? I'm gonna eat caffeine during the day. Yes, you will consume caffeine during the day, but if we're trying to optimize your performance, we wanna optimize the amount of time caffeine is in your system. And so yes, that means waiting to put caffeine in your body. So 3.5 hours. So let's take a look at this. I got this really cool spreadsheet from Coach Jesse Kropelnicki that has my entire plan in here. We'll go over this hour by hour, and I would suggest you make a similar plan for yourself, create a recipe, stick to it use it in training, train with it all the time. Second nature on race day. All right, so 3.5 hours before race start, I will wake up, I will eat enough applesauce that is the equivalent of 45 grams of carbohydrate. I will eat bread, being plain bread, plain bagel, English muffin, whatever I can easily get my hands on, 60 grams of carbohydrates. Typically this would be like half of a good bagel.
This is almost too easy.
And then I will have 1 banana, 1 scoop of whey protein, and 1 bottle of sports drink. So that banana is about 25 grams of carbohydrates, and that sports drink is 51. So far we have 181 grams of carbohydrate, and in that I'm getting about 720 grams of sodium, 600 of that from my sports drink. A lot of people think the best thing to do at this point is to go back and take a little nap. Usually I'm so excited for the race, there's no need for a nap at all. I have fallen asleep again, but that's pretty rare. Usually I'm so amped for the day without caffeine, I'm good.
Bring it on!
So then we get to 1 hour before the race.
We got a whole hour left, people.
And I'll need a little more fuel. I need 22 grams of carbohydrate. I can go back to applesauce, I can go to bread, or I can go to an energy bar, a power bar, a picky bar, anything that I know is gonna feel easy on my stomach that has about 22 grams of carbohydrate. That's about half of most nutrition bars. 15 minutes before the race starts, I'm gonna have my first caffeine.
It is time.
And I'm gonna have a double caffeinated gel. And so for me, that is using a power bar gel because it has the extra caffeine. That's gonna have 27 grams of carbohydrate and another 200 grams of sodium. Once the race starts, I'm budgeting about an hour for my swim. And so in reality, I'm gonna do it closer to 50 minutes, but we're gonna say at 1 hour into the race, so after the swim, shortly when I get on the bike or right out of the swim, I'm gonna pop a gel, probably right out of the swim, and then I'm gonna start drinking my sports drink. And then during the bike ride, every 30 minutes, I'm gonna consume 1 gel and 1 bottle of sports drink. If it's extra hot, I will keep the gel the same for the first part of the ride until about halfway, and then I will switch the gels to about every 40 minutes because I will up my hydration intake to 1 bottle every 20 minutes to try to get in the extra fluids I need for a super hot race like Hawaii. Once I finish the bike, I'll come into T2, and in T2 I will have a banana, a bunch of supplemental salt. I like the base salt because it's a little canister you can lick, and I write down 10 licks of base salt, being each lick is 100 milligrams, so a gram of licks of salt. And that doesn't all have to be in transition. I can lick that throughout the bike as well. But by the end of that bike, I want 10 licks of that to make sure that I have enough to get on the run and properly fuel my run.
Well, now that matter is settled.
So again, we talked in the half Ironman video that if you do not pee on the bike once, that if during a half Ironman race you do not pee on the bike at least once,
One time.
you will not run to your potential. So in a full Ironman, if you do not pee on the bike twice, you will not run to your potential. I spent many Ironmans where I never peed at all on the bike, and you pay the price on the back half of the run, guaranteed. If you pee at least twice on the bike, more is fine, then you have the potential to run to your potential. So what does it look like when I get on the run? Well, my favorite run nutrition of all time, and this is what I would still use today, I carry a pack of gummies. They could be Cliff Blocks, they could be gummy bears, they could be Power Bar gummies, they can be any kind of gummy that you want. But I carry a package of them and I put one in my mouth every mile. I also take sports drink at every aid station. The only time I vary from this is if it's late in the race, then I can switch from sports drink to Coke and or Red Bull.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
For the majority of the run, I'm planning on doing the entire run off gummies and sports drink from the aid stations. I will have 3 gels with me on the run, and I will try to space those out over the first hour. So one at 20, one at 40, and one at 60 minutes. Take me through that first hour of the marathon, at which point I will stop the gels and I will go solidly on gummies, sports drink, sprinkled in with a little Coke and some Red Bull. This should be enough to get you through. The gummy trick is one of my favorites because you can pop it in your mouth and just suck on it. Just put it in your cheek and suck on it. And the biggest benefit for this is that it's not a ton of carbohydrates, but it's instant sugar. And so it's constantly reminding your brain that your blood sugar is high. So when you have this thing to suck on the entire time, it really helps to ward off the feeling of low blood sugar. Sports drink and sodium are really important as well, so make sure I always carry some sodium with me, usually some base salt. I like to stick it right here in the top of my jersey. I stick it right there so that I can stick my hand in there and grab it real quickly. But sodium's really important. I went a long time in racing where I would become hyponatremic during an Ironman. Hyponatremic is the opposite of dehydration. It means you have too much water. And usually this would happen because I would be too dehydrated on the bike, and then I would consume too much fluid with not enough electrolytes on the run, meaning I would start guzzling as much water as I could on the run course, and I don't have enough electrolytes. And that's a really funny feeling because you start to feel a little bit bloated, but the weirdest sensation is that when you straighten your arms, you'll get these tingles of nerve pain down your arms. That's one of the telltale signs of being hyponatremic. So you want to avoid that, and I no longer shoot the water unless I need something to wash something down like a gel, or I feel like my mouth is too dry. So I try to stick to sports drink for the entirety of the run, and once I feel like I'm starting to fade, hit the wall a little bit, sometimes mile 16, sometimes mile 18, 20, switch that over to some Coke and some Red Bull.
Now it's a party.
And I tell people all the time, both of those are like nitrous oxide. So it's like having a nitrous oxide boost in the car. But the crazy thing about it is when you switch, you want to switch and you want to keep pouring that nitrous oxide in your body so you can put the jet fuel on and let it rip.
So go crazy. Let it rip.
So you're going to need that every aid station to keep that fast burning sugar going. I have done an entire marathon on nothing but Coke. I would not advise that, but it is doable. And so if things are going bad, your stomach doesn't feel well, Gatorade tastes terrible, you can't keep it down, chances are you can probably keep the Coke down. And yes, it is possible to run an entire marathon on nothing but Coke. So there you have it. That is my full Ironman nutrition plan. I would highly recommend you make a spreadsheet like this, calculate your needs, and then again, the most important thing you can do, should be doing regularly, is using this plan on your long training days so that it becomes second nature. Good luck out there. Let me know how this works for you and if you want to see more stuff on Ironman nutrition. Thanks.